I'm just going to make a really quick video on solving the edges and wings on a 5x5 cube. So I'm just going to start out. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can say, okay, start with a white on top. So we're going to start with this cube here. This edge is a orange and yellow, and we're looking for an orange and yellow wing. These are the wings here, the ones on either side of the edges. So you want this wing to match with the color that's showing on the side. So this side is orange, yellow, and this side's orange. Well, this one is only showing the yellow side, so you want it to be, you're going to put it on the side where it matches. Now this is the opposite side. This is where it needs to go home. This is the opposite side. So on the opposite side, we're going to move this up because this wing is on top. Then move the wing into this side over here and then bring it down. And then as you can see, when I place it, that lines it up. So now we're looking for the next orange and yellow. Well, just what happens to be there. Orange and yellow. The yellow matches yellow. It's on the bottom, so at the opposite side, we're going to move it down and then move this over into that column and bring it up. And as you can see, then it's lined up. And then you do a sexy move to place it on top. So you're that's where you're going to store those completed edges and wings. So now we got a red and yellow. So looking for a red and yellow. And there's a red and yellow there. So the yellow is showing, so you want to take it to the yellow side of this here. Now the same thing, the opposite side, you want to move it down because the wing is on the bottom. Move it down, move the wing away from the home, and then bring it up. And then when you place it, it ends up placing exactly where it needs to be. Now we're looking for the next red and yellow, and it's right here. And the yellow is showing, so you bring it to the yellow side. And the same thing, use the away side to move it down. This is the home. So you move the away side down because the wing's on the bottom. Move it away from home, bring it up, and that places it in the correct orientation to be placed together. Again, you're going to store this on top. When you store them on top, this one gets kicked out. Always make sure this one is not solved. So I'm going to do the sexy move. As you can see, that brought that one that was there down. So now this one happens to have two reds already solved. So we're going to look for the next red. There it is, red and white. And you move it to the white side because the white side is when it's exposed. So same thing here. You're going to move this is the home, this is the away. You're going to move the away up because the wing's on the top. And then you're going to bring that wing away from this side and bring it down. And that flips it in the right orientation to where it goes into place. Now again, we're going to store this one on top. So you want to make sure that this back one is not solved. You can see this is not solved. The two solved ones are here and here. So I'm going to bring this up with a sexy move. And as you can see, it brought that one down. So now we got yellow and blue. We're looking for yellow and blue. And there's one there. So we have the yellow is showing, so you're going to line it up with the yellow side of that home. So the home is here on the left side. So the opposite side, you want to move it down because the wing is on the bottom. And then slide that wing away from home, bring it up. And that wing gets flipped over, and now it's oriented correctly. Now we look for the other one. I just happened to notice it right here, which the blue is exposed. So you're going to bring it to the blue side. You're going to do the same thing. This is the home. This is away. You're going to bring the away down to the bottom because the wing's on the bottom. You're going to move that wing away from the home and then put that back up. Now this is correctly oriented to go in there. So now you have this one solved. So again, like I said, when you store this on top, you have to make sure that this one is not solved, the back top. So this one's going to get kicked out. So you're going to see when I place it here, this one's going to end up getting kicked out. Now you have all four solved on the top. So you have this bar solved, this bar solved, this bar solved, and this bar solved. So now we can flip it over and put the white on the bottom, and we're going to go through and do the same thing. So I'm just starting here. We have white and green, and we have a white and green here. Well, the white is the one that's exposed, so bring it to the white side of this white and green edge. Again, this is home, this is away. You want to bring this one up to the top because that's where the wing is. So you can bring it up to the top, and then bring that wing away from home, and then bring it down. And now it's oriented correctly, so you can just place it in there. Now you're looking for the last green and white. And remember, we're not going to look at the bottom anymore because these are all solved. So we're only looking at we're only looking here and on top, and there's the green and white right there. So we're looking here, here's the green and whites, and we have the green and white matched up on the green side. Again, move, this is the home side, this is where it needs to go, this is the away side. Move this up because the wing's on top, move it up, move the wing away from home, bring it down, and then now we place it in place. And then none of these on top are solved, so I'm just gonna do the sexy move and not worry about it. So now we have one solved one on top. We have orange and white. And I see an orange and white one here, but we need to move it to this side so that the orange matches the orange. And again, move the away side. This is the home, this is the away side, and the wing's on top. So you're gonna move the away side top, you're gonna move the wing away from home and then bring it down, and then that'll allow you to place it and orient it properly. So now we have one last white and orange, and it happens to be right here, so I can just slide that over and I finish that bar. So now we're gonna store that bar on top. Now we have one solved one up here, so we want to make sure this one is not solved, because this one's gonna end up down here. Just watch, this one's gonna end up here, so I bring it here, here, and here. So now this one brought down to the center where we can start slicing them and solve it. So this one is red and blue, looking for red and blue. There's a red and blue right there, but it's not gonna work because when I place this in here, it's gonna be flipped. So what I'll do is, I'm gonna flip this over. So you see the red and blues on the bottom right now, but I want it to be up here. So I'm gonna do the sexy move, and then I'm bring the front minus, and then I'm gonna slide that cubies right there. So I did it up, and then I do the front. Now you can see the red and blues on top. So when I go over this way, it falls into place. Now I'm looking for that last red and blue, and it just happens to be right here. So the red and blue, it's already matching on the correct side. So again, I'm gonna move the away up because the wing's on top. Move the wing away from home, bring it down, place it in place. So now I'm gonna send that up to the top. Make sure that this one's solved, this one's solved, this one's not. So when I bring this up, it's gonna bring that back one down. And there it is. So the green and yellow, I'm looking for green and yellow. And there's a green and yellow right here. So I matched the green and yellow, the green side's showing, it matches up with the green here. It's on top, so I move the away to the top, and then move it away from home, bring it back down, and then that solves that one. Now we need the last green and yellow, and it happens to be right here. So I need to flip this one to put it up here so that it falls into place. So again, to flip it, it's the sexy move first. That's the sexy move. Then it's the front minus and up, and then front, and I put the green one there. So now when I put it in place, that bar is solved. Now we're looking at the top. We have 1, 2, 3 solved. This one's not solved, so it has to be, you have to move that to the back to make sure this one's not solved, so that when you put this in, this one's gonna get kicked out. So as you can see, if you keep your eye on this one, when I do the sexy move, it brought it down. So now I got white and blue. They're all solved on top. So now we have to, and this happened to end up being solved, but we're gonna bust that up because all these are mixed up right now. So you wanna fix these. So now we should have all 6 of these centers solved. They're all solved. And now we can no longer do the free slicing that we were doing. So now we have to be very careful and do this in a very logical way. So for example, there's the 2 blue and white pieces here, but unfortunately they're in the wrong slices. So what I'll do is I'm gonna move this piece here, and then I'm gonna flip this so that this ends up here, But remember, this orange piece is going to be over here because I'm going to slice it this way. So I'm going to slice it this way, so the orange is going to be here. Then I'm going to flip this, and this blue one's going to end up here because this blue one goes up here because this one does not go there, as you can see. So once this orange one's over here and I flip this blue one's going to be here and the orange is here. So when I put it back, it's going to be in the right place. So just watch. I'm going to bring this one this way. And then I'm going to do the sexy move because I'm flipping this bar. So I'm doing the sexy move. And then front minus. And then up. And then front. Now you see, it flipped this one over. And now I'm going to put it back. And see what happens there. It solved this one. So now I can do the same thing. I want this one down here. So I'm going to place this one here and then flip this one. So again, I'm going to move this slice over to here. Now I'm going to flip this one over. And again, it's the sexy move. And I got to straighten this cube out. And then front minus. And then up. And then front. And then now you see this blue and white ones on the bottom. So now when I turn it, it's solved. So I'm slowly solving the wings and edges in the middle. Because remember, all these on top are solved and all the ones on the bottom are solved. So now I'm very limited as to what I can do. So I'll try to find another one that looks like it might be easy to solve. Well, and here's a little trick. Okay, so this one needs to go in here. But then it mixes up these, and I can't have that. So what I can do is, because everything is solved on the top and the bottom, I can turn this one 180 degrees, and that'll put this green and red one on the top. Because remember, I have to go over to it and then flip it over and then bring it back, and that's how it's solved. So I'm gonna flip this one over, and it's gonna end up on the top. It's gonna end up on the top way over here. So now I bring this one, this orange and green under that red and green, which is right here, and then I'm going to flip them. So again, the flipping is a sexy move, and then the front minus, and then the upper, and then the front. Now I have flipped that red one down to the bottom, so when I solve these centers, it solves this one. So now we got these two solved, all the four on top are solved, all the four on bottom are solved, and these two are solved. Now we're left with the last two. As you can see, you have orange and green, and you have orange and blue. Now, no matter what I do, it's gonna require flipping. So if I put this one here, because this one needs to go there. As you can see, it's not going to work. It has to go there. So how do I get it there? Well, I move this one over, and then I flip this one. So again, the flip is going to be the sexy move, and then the front minus, and as you can see, it flipped it over, and it goes into place. Now I need to get the green and orange here, but it's here, and it's not going to work because I can slide this over and that solves that, but then this is mixed up. I can slide this over and it solves this, but this is mixed up. So how do I do it? Well, again, I'm going to have to send this one to the top. So I can flip this one now if I wanted to, and I'll just show you that method real quick. It's instead of sending it to the back, I'll just flip this one over. So I'm going to flip it. You remember the sexy move? And then the front minus and up and front. So now the one that needs to go here is right there. Well, it's perfect. So I can slide this over and then flip this one again, do the sexy move, and then front minus, up and front. And so now when I place this, it's solved. So now I got them all solved, except for this one. This is called parity. If I was to go ahead and solve the cube, you'd end up with these two being flipped. So it's better to do this here now than to solve it and then do this algorithm, because if you I'll just go ahead and show you how to do it here, and then I'll show you how to do it on the solved cube. But this is the way you do it on the when it's not solved. So you have everything else solved except for these two pieces. So you're gonna do right minus, and these are the two right edges. I mean the two right slices. So double right minus 1, or double right minus, if you want to call it that, and then up twice, and then double left front twice, and then double left minus front twice. Now this is double right twice, top twice, double right top twice, double right minus top twice. Now you do front twice, double right twice. Now you can see that they're all solved. So then you go on to solve the cube, and I'm not a speed solver, so I'm just gonna solve the cube really quick, as fast as I can, but I'm not again, like I said, I'm not a speed cuber, but because I'll show you that algorithm that I just showed you is a lot less restrictive than if you try to do it while the cube is, like if you went ahead and solved the cube with that parity, then you'd have that one oddball case that needed to be flipped. It would take longer to solve because the algorithm is a little bit more restrictive once it's solved, because you have to move just a slice instead of the double slices, because when you do the double slice, it's a little bit faster, I think, on the hands, and I'll show you that in a second here. I apologize, but I have to solve this cube, and again, like I said, I don't speed solve, so just bear with me here. I'm just solving the cube layer by layer. I don't have any specific method that I use. I actually use several different methods, to be quite honest with you. So this is the algorithm I was referring to. So if you do this algorithm to fix the parity early on when nothing is solved, you can grab these two and move it so it goes, right, and but if you're doing it after it's solved, then it's much more restrictive, because you're going to do just the middle, the small right, and then see that takes longer than to just do this, because you're doing two moves. You're doing 1, 2 instead of just 1. So 1, 2, and then the top, and the same thing here. The left one you're gonna down, and then the front, and then the left one up. See, it takes a lot longer to do that. Again, I'm gonna do it really quick again, but it takes longer because instead of just doing one move, you're doing 1, 2 because you solved it. So it's better to take care of that parity as soon as you see it than to solve the cube and then do the parity, because it's going to take a little bit longer. But if speed's not important to you, then it doesn't matter. Like, it's not important to me, but I'm just pointing that out. So I'm going to do it again. So it's a right, and it's a little right and little left. So I'm just going to say that from the get-go. So I'm not going to say it later. So this is little right minus, and then up twice, and then left, front twice, left minus, front twice, then right twice, up twice, right, up twice, right minus, up twice, front twice, right twice, front twice. There you have it. That's how you solve the 5x5 Rubik's Cube. Thanks for watching.